Good morning, folks, and welcome to Swing Trading Today. This is Bob Desmond, and it is 5 a.m., October the 2nd, 2019. All right, so what we're going to go over today as people filter in is the economic data that was released yesterday, a major problem for these markets. And we also have the news out of Japan. I know this doesn't mean a lot for the United States, but it's a signal of what is coming to a town and state and country near you. Also, we're going to talk a little bit about the commission cuts over at E-Trade, TD Ameritrade. Great for the consumer, horrible for the industry. So let's get to the economic data that was released on Tuesday. And we had the ISM data, which came out, and it was horrible. I mean, we are in contraction here in the U.S. economy. We had a read that came out less than 50 on the ISM data, and a number below 50 is a sign of contraction in the economy. Not only that, the prior read was 49.1%. That was contraction. They had expected 50.2. Of course, we missed by a mile. So that's 2 consecutive months where the economy in the United States is contracting. So a major problem here. Add to that, construction spending took a hit as well. They expected 4% of an increase. We only got 1%, and the prior read was flat. So the economic data is not good. The Federal Reserve is going to need to intervene in these markets at some point in time because we are beginning to roll over here. Now, today, today we have the ADP numbers. We have a couple of Fed heads that are going to be out there speaking. Who knows what they're going to say. Tomorrow we have weekly jobless claims. No big deal there unless we see a spike up higher. ISM manufacturing index. Watch that number. We have more Fed heads out tomorrow. These people just don't stop with their interviews or speeches. And then on Friday, again, the pimp Mac Daddy of them all, which is non-farm payrolls. So, a lot of economic data coming out, a lot of it not good. Be very concerned. It's eerily quiet on the Federal Reserve front. They were in the markets yet again yesterday, but we're not seeing a lot of headlines, and that's kind of strange. I mean, for the past few weeks, we've seen nothing but headlines. Taking a look at Japan, no matter what country you're in, they never, ever learn. Higher taxes are regressive. And the Japanese have yet again gone in and raised their national sales tax to 10%. And the last 2 times they did this, 1997, 2014, they went into an economic contraction. They have a consumer and manufacturing-based economy, and they are not doing well. So Japan, watch out for them. And this is coming to a county, state, nation near you. I know this is an international program, and the mic would help. The federal government is going to need money. County governments are going to need money. And they're going to come to you, being the taxpayer, and me, and taking that money. That's why it's going to be very, very difficult to keep your money in the bank. Because all they're going to do is come in and confiscate it. Let's take a look at the pre-market activity. I'm not sure whether I'm having technical issues. If you can hear me okay, can you let me know and see me all right? Just drop a note in the box. I know people are just filtering in now. Please, I appreciate it. Thank you very much. All right, let's begin with the NASDAQ. The NASDAQ, which took a hit yesterday, is taking another hit today. So we have the NASDAQ, which is down. Good morning. From Singapore. Excellent. Volume's good. Great, Irving. Thanks, man. And you can see me okay because my screen, it says video unavailable. So it's like, I don't know if I'm reaching anybody. That's great. Thank you. If you could just let me know if the video's okay. Sound is good. Good stuff. Thank you. All right. So the NASDAQ is taking a hit at current. This is a 4-hour chart. These will all be 4-hour charts. If I go to a different time frame, I'll definitely let you know. And we are down over a 0.5 percentage point this morning, a continuation move lower. We, again, have the ADP numbers coming out later on this morning. Perhaps that will put a bid under the markets. Watch for a rally up to this support level here at the 76.87 level. Let's see whether or not we stall at that level. And if we're looking to short the market, that may be a good level to short at. And we're beginning to look at the TZA to possibly get short small of this market because I'm becoming very, very concerned about the economic data that's coming out and the president's ability to be able to control it. So while I don't want to get overly aggressive to the short side, I'm thinking about putting a toe in the water. I will send out an alert to members. And if you're not currently subscribed to my YouTube channel, if you could please click that subscribe button, bell button, and leave a comment below. I'll definitely get back to you. Thank you very much. Okay, so NASDAQ down in the pre-market, new daily lows and new weekly lows. Taking a look at the triple Qs, they are down about the same as the NASDAQ overall, but they are bouncing back, flirting with prior resistance. The question is, do they recapture it? That's the $800,000 question right now. Now, this bar here just opened up at 5 a.m., so 7 minutes ago. So it'll close at 9 a.m. Let's watch for a close back above either one of these two support levels. And we do have the ADP employment numbers coming out at 8:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. So before the market opens and before this bar closes, watch that bar very, very carefully. If we break to new sessions lows, if we break to new session lows after the announcement, that's a problem for the markets today. Taking a look at, let's go with the Russell futures. They're not down as severe, but a big outside reversal day yesterday. I went over this with members last night on Market Wrap. Outside reversal day, very bearish. We broke through support levels. We are down yet again this morning. They're trying to bid the shares of the Russell up off of what was prior support and resistance back in, or on, I should say, 9/4, September the 4th, and prior to that as well. So we'll see whether or not this prior support and resistance range acts as any help, a defense level today. Taking a look at the S&P 500, where are my S&Ps? Sorry about the dead silence there, or whatever they call that in the media industry. So we're down here just shy of a 0.5 percentage point. We were a bit higher this last 4-hour bar. We are now weakening up here a little bit yet again. So a caution flag is on the track for this market today. But again, after the ADP numbers come out, You may see a flip over and a rally in the markets. I think it's probably going to be brief. What we need right now is a tweet from the president and an announcement from the Federal Reserve. I don't know what else is really going to keep this market from weakening up here. The economic data yesterday, when you start getting it back to back, that becomes a trend. And I don't concern myself with one-off numbers because they're subject to revision. And it's one report does not make a trend. But when you start seeing back-to-back numbers, that's a major concern. Now, what leads me to believe that you had the Federal Reserve back in there today, like they were yesterday, helping the bond market, is this chart here, 4-hour chart, 10-year Treasury note, and we are up yet again this morning. And I'm looking for a breakout here. They tried it already, this 4-hour bar, but they were rejected. Let's see whether or not they managed to break it out on the 10-year bond price. This is not the yield, but the price. And if we get that rally, I would expect to see strength in the not strength in the U.S. dollar, strength in gold, silver, etc. And for those who are just joining me now, if you could just click that like button, subscribe button, bell button so you get notified in the future, I'd appreciate it. It really helps out the channel. Or else what YouTube's algorithm does, and YouTube's a great partner, love them, but what they're doing now is they're promoting like CNBC clips versus the independent creator, which is, I don't know, everybody knows about CNBC. They don't know about the independent creator, and I think that we have a voice that should be heard as well. So I appreciate it very much. Thank you. So I'm looking for a breakout here on the 10-year bond price and across the spectrum. I'm looking for a rally. And that would imply the Federal Reserve is in the market. Taking a look at, let's go to the dollar first, and then we'll go into the metals. The dollar saw a surge overnight. I was rather surprised to see it because we had such a horrible day yesterday. Thank you for that like. Appreciate it. So the question now becomes, and I always use this saying, the test is always at the top. Do we, on this counter trend move, do we rally and break out to new highs, or do we put in a lower high and roll over? So that's the big question out there. And if the Federal Reserve comes out and says that they're going to have QE permanent, and that's going to put a lot of pressure on the U.S. dollar to continue rallying from here. So we're waiting for that announcement. Now, with the dollar strengthening, you'll want to take a look at gold. And when I say strengthening on the dollar, it doesn't mean I'm bullish. Yesterday, remember, in swing trading today, yesterday, on the 1-hour chart, I said, expect a pullback on the U.S. dollar. It was strong yesterday morning, but I expected a pullback, and we certainly got that pullback. Now, gold this morning is at 1487.7. And there was some conversation yesterday morning with regard to the, good morning to you. There was some conversation with regard to shorting gold. Me personally, I wouldn't short gold. If you were so inclined to short gold, the levels to watch are, yes, 1490, but more importantly is the 1500 level. Would I consider hedging? Maybe. I wouldn't short gold here. There's too much headline risk. And what do I mean by that is that if the Federal Reserve comes out and they say, we have a new policy that we're going to have QE permanent. That way it takes it off the headlines. Thank you. If they come out and they state that they're going to have QE permanent, you're going to see gold rip through the ceiling, silver, etc. And I don't want to be in that vice. I don't want to be caught in that the grip of the markets at that point in time, because our macro view is that we have so many reasons to be long of gold longer term. If you could shake off the short-term volatility, great. But longer term, we have 22 trillion reasons and rising. Every single year, every single day, every single minute, that debt keeps rising. You have geopolitical risk. You have the price of oil, which is just simply, maybe it's up this morning. We had a drawdown in crude yesterday, and I believe the price of oil shot up yesterday after the close. The question is, did it hold? And we are down again today. So the price of oil is under pressure. And as I mentioned yesterday, you have the Saudis, which are under attack on their own soil by the Houthi rebels. Not just one attack, but multiple attacks now. And the third largest arms supplier, and they're not able to defend themselves. So if they can't defend themselves, guess who's going to do it? There's a reason why we have the petrodollar. We provide the military umbrella for the Saudis. That's the agreement. It's been that way since the 1970s. So are we going to get dragged into some sort of a conflict again in the Middle East? Hopefully not, but it's out there. It's a possibility. What will happen to gold? Through the roof. There are so many geopolitical risks out there. I don't want to fight gold longer term. Short term, yes, it's under pressure. Let's take a look at silver. We have a couple of minutes to go. If you have a couple of symbols, I need to take members with priority. So if you have a couple of symbols you want me to go over, I'd be more than happy to do that for you, and because I appreciate you joining me so early in the morning. Let's take a look at silver here. Silver is down slightly this morning. We did recapture a support level yesterday, but I wouldn't go adding to positions right now. We are long of the USLV, which is a leveraged ETF. Don't want the volatility. That's fine. I understand it completely. Simply take a look at the SLV, less volatile. You have exposure to silver. Would I go buying now? No, not yet. I'm just not seeing that trigger yet that is awe-inspiring, causing me to go running in and buying silver at current. Longer term, perhaps, yes. And I shouldn't even say perhaps. In all probability, yes. Taking a look at Bitcoin, we're down on the session, still significantly below that 10,000 mark. No real reason here to go buying Bitcoin. We are seeing the Bollinger Bands on a 4-hour basis tighten up. However, we are in a downtrend, so a break is probably going to give the bias to the break to the downside. So I would not be a buyer here. I wouldn't look to sell it either. If you're long of it, I would just stay long right now until, of course, we break support, and I would look to then lighten up, get out. One chart, yeah, no doubt about it. Oil will definitely spike up on any conflict in the Middle East. And frankly, the scary part is that that's what they want, even at the expense of the American consumer. You need to remember, we don't matter anymore. The middle class does not matter. Take a look at the savings account of the average American consumer. It's adjusted for inflation. It's a negative number. It's been that way. They're talking about zero interest rates or negative interest rates. That's not adjusted for inflation. We already have that, right? It's crazy, but we're being squeezed to death. They're wiping out the middle class. It's what they want. Either you're very, very rich or very, very poor. One of the two. And it's the American way now, and it's very, very sad. So for the power is everything right now in every corner of the globe. Not that it hasn't always been, but they really just don't even hide the reasons how they are trying to retain power. Think about what's going on here in the United States. They would never have, meaning the Democratic Party, they never would have said that they are socialists 5 years ago, 10 years ago. That would have been so un-American. Now it's hip to be un-American. It's not hip to be to enjoy capitalism, the free markets. Take a look at what's going on over in Brexit or in Britain with Brexit. I mean, the undermining of the American or the British people is incredible. The PMs, the members of parliament, are supposed to represent the British voter. You had 17.4 million Brits vote to leave the European Union, and it's even greater now, up to 60% of the populace, and they can't leave. 3 years hence, and they can't leave. It's crazy. So you see what's going on, the undermining of the people everywhere, even in democratic societies, and it's quite scary. So what I would encourage you to do is have my voice heard, hit that like button, please, and hit the subscribe button. Cheap plug. Thank you. That's Bitcoin. I want to point out another concern about this market, and it's a chart of IPOs. And one thing that I've noticed over the course of my trading career is right before you see a tank in the markets, you see a push. All these big banks push their IPOs out to market. And the big one lately has been WeWork, which was pulled. That company, in all probability, is going bankrupt. So when you take a look at this chart here, the last time medium 1 month relative performance of IPOs from close on first trading day, the last time you saw this bad of a performance was back here when we went into recession back in 2007, 2008, into 2009. Horrible. They just push these things to market, these banks, to get them off their books, to get paid, and we're right back there yet again. So keep an eye on this. Another chart to watch, and I wish I pulled it. Maybe I'll pull it tomorrow, are the store closures. There is an apocalypse, a retail apocalypse that's going on right now with store closures. And nobody's talking about it. There's a retail... Elaborate, please. I would love to hear the perspective from the British view. I do watch a lot of YouTube videos about the Brexit, and I would love to hear another perspective. So I'm open-minded. I'm not drawing conclusions here. If you could sway my opinion on this, please let me know, and I'm open to it, all right? But I'm just going by what I'm watching, and perhaps it's got a conservative tilt to it. So please let me know. I'm open-minded. And thank you for the comment. I really appreciate that. Even though it may not coincide with my opinion, I need to keep an open mind. So thank you. So keep an eye on these IPOs. I think that this IPO with WeWork is really the icing on the cake. So just keep an eye on it. And do we have any symbols? All right, so I'm going to leave off. Oh, natural gas? Let's take a look at natural gas. Natural gas, that's the NASDAQ. We are looking at the natural gas. I'm going to go to, I'm going to go to, and I appreciate you being here. Thank you very much for the comments. Thanks for engaging, especially from Great Britain. Thank you very much. So natural gas is down this morning. We are nearing support here on natural gas. It's been taken to the woodshed. Now, what I want to do here is I remember setting an alert, and I think it triggered yesterday on UGAZ. I know I got an email. Perhaps I got a text and I just didn't see it. Yeah, we got an alert that fired off yesterday on TrendSpider, which triggered. So on the UGAZ, we were looking for support to get hit yesterday. It didn't hit our support. It hit the sensitivity zone. So it came within a few dimes of our support level, and it fired off the alert to me. We're not quite there yet. So I'm looking for support at around, where did we close yesterday? $20? No, that's not right. $14.59. We're looking for support at around $14.30. And I'm going to get rid of this now. I'm going to put up a new alert at the support level. Actually, we dropped down below it yesterday. We did fire. I didn't see it with the alert overlaid here. We dropped down below it. So this support level did not hold, but it did fire, which is good. All right, so now what I want to do is I want to take a look at setting an alert at this new support level here. And this is on a daily chart, so this is just going to be a swing trade. Possible long. And we'll keep this active for the next 7 days. All right, so we're good here. We had a bit of a doji star formation yesterday on natural gas. So this is a trade that may occur fairly soon. I'm concerned about buying it this morning because what was support yesterday is now going to act as resistance. So what I'll do here, I'll set another alert if we break through. I don't care about a touching. I just care about a breakthrough on the UGAZ. And we may do one of two things here. One is that we may just simply buy the UGAZ. Or two, I may go to Gasol, which is a natural gas related ETF, a leveraged ETF, and sell puts, maybe open up a spread with a hedge on that put selling to bring in some premium. But ideally, we pull back here to this lower band of support, and it holds, and we get long with a stop right below that support level, because if it breaks, we're going to want to get out of UGAZ or Gasol, whatever we decide to trade here. And this is TrendSpider Software. If you're interested in it, they are a partner of ours, a sponsor. There's a link below. You get a 25% discount code, CT25Z. Again, CT25Z if you're interested. And any other... That appears to be it. I'm not seeing any requests. Folks, thank you very much for joining in. I thank you very much for getting up this early and joining me here in the States and in Canada and over in, we have folks from Europe on, England, Singapore. I love hearing opinions from around the globe. We filter out the mainstream media, what they want us to hear, by simply entering comments in the chat box. This is the real power of live streaming and engaging on a global basis. So please help support the channel by subscribing, joining me on a daily basis, and clicking that like button. Leave a comment below. Get those YouTube algorithms to push this commentary up and promote it to others so that they can hear what's going on out there from a small guy's perspective. And I thank you very much for joining in. Everybody have a profitable trading day. I'll talk to you soon. Be well.